we breathe the sweet air this morning. And now let's affirm together once more. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotent. And so it is. Ron will lead our songs this morning, accompanied by Jeff.
Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. Would you please stand and we'll sing Surely the Presence, which is right inside your front cover. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on his face. Surely the
everyone this morning. We have some people that haven't been here for a while. We may have some people that have never been here. Do we have anyone that's never been here?
Well, go ahead and raise your hand.
Hi.
Please stand up and introduce your mom.
Hi there.
This is Lynn, my mom. She moved here from Oregon this service.
Oh. And?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm Pat Clark. I have my kids Rupert and Nora here. We haven't been here in a long time, but we're really glad to be home.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those kids since they were like... That's great. Welcome, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Alive here and on Zoom. We will celebrate Mother's Day, I'm sure, in a special way today, it looks like. But right now, the announcements that I have are the Davis Children's Shelter is still seeking luggage and backpacks for the kids at the shelter as they make their way to their next stop towards adoption. So Sojourner Shelter is also collecting snacks, powdered drinks, and coffee for the shelter in May, and we like to support those wonderful agencies who do such powerful work. UKV is a tithing lunch. We tithe 10 lunch. Where did I get that? Is it lunch yet? I was looking over here where it says Potluck. It's a tithing church, and we do tithe 10% back to the community of what we bring in. So in May, we'll be tithing to the Unity Worldwide Ministries. One farther down, since I've already mentioned it, we will be having a Unity House potluck and open house next Sunday, to celebrate all the work and the preparations that have been made to offer the manse, the Unity House, up for adoption for some lucky renters. So if you know anyone that is looking for a wonderfully renovated space right next door to a beautiful church with great people, just let us know. Send them our way. And let's see what else. May Kids Camp is still going on in person, and the book study group is on Zoom. And on Friday, May 13th, our fabulous Ron Soul, fresh from his success with the Woody Holly concert series. Go ahead.
So I got to tell you, if you're looking at the, Jeff just pointed this out, if you're looking at the announcement about the Ron Soul's open mic in the program, it says general admission, $500.
It's a new fundraiser.
Oops.
It's, we would welcome that, but actually there is a period missing there. It's
Yes.
only $5.
Yeah. Thank you, Ron. Thank you for that.
But anybody can donate.
Yeah, that's right.
And also, put a mark on your calendar, May 21st, we will be having a memorial service here for our wonderful Laree Nevio, who recently passed. Frank's been working on that with Sky and some of us here, and we are going to ask the ladies of the church. I convinced Frank to do this. He didn't want to, but I said we'd love to contribute in some way, so we're going to make like cakes and pies and desserts to bring. And he will be furnishing the lunch downstairs after the service. So just put that on your calendar, and hopefully next week we'll have a sign-up sheet, Pam, for the people to sign up to make those and bring those in. So thank you for that. And that's all that I have this morning. So your turn. I quit saying I'm going to turn it over to you because,
Thank you, Ruth. Good morning, everybody. Great to see you all. It looks like a quiet Mother's Day Sunday. So glad to be here with you. Let's get this right. My name is Sky Kirshner. I want to welcome you to Unity of Kanawha Valley. Welcome, shalom, namaste, and aloha. The light in me greets the light in you. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are, whether you're here live or you're with us online. We've got the doors open today. It's a beautiful day here in Charleston, and the birds are singing for us. The mission of Unity of Kanawha Valley is to provide you with a welcoming community of love, acceptance, and spiritual support. If you are here or watching us for the first time, I want to say welcome to you. We are glad you are here. Here at Unity, we celebrate our being alive together. Each of us is worthy of dignity and respect with no exceptions. And we affirm our diversity. We each recognize that all of us are on our own unique journeys and that none of us is in a place to judge another's journey. And it's my hope that you will know that you are welcome here just as you are. You are free to be yourself, and that you are invited to explore some ideas that might be useful in your life. Today, we are honoring our mothers. Prayer is a central part of what we're about here today, so let's do that right now. Would you soften your gaze or let yourself close your eyes? Let a smile come to your face and say silently to yourself, I honor my mother by being nurturing to myself right now. I honor my mother by being a good mother to myself right now. If you have been neglectful of yourself, this might be a good time to look at that. I honor my mother by being a good mother to myself right now. And if you would, imagine that you are sitting or standing in front of your mother right now. Look at her in the eye. See her looking back at you. See if you can allow gratitude to fill your heart. I understand we have complicated relationships with our mothers sometimes, but find that one thing you can be grateful for right now. And as you are picturing your mother in your mind's eye, looking at her in the eye, see her looking back at you, maybe smiling, and say to her, thank you for giving me life and for being with me on this journey. See how it feels to say thank you for giving me life and for being with me on this journey. All right, and give yourself a big yawn and a big stretch. Oh, now if you're lucky enough to be with your mother today, I want to invite you to come up to the altar, or I'll come down and get a rose and give that to your mother. Otherwise, turn to somebody sitting nearby you and say to them, thank you for being with me on this journey. Thank you for being with me on this journey. All right, daughters, sons, if your mother's here. That's right. All right. Emily's going to wind up with 3 roses this morning. At least 3, maybe more, right? I'm so glad you could be here and bring your mother. You're welcome. And for those of you whose mothers are not here, if you'd like to take a rose after the service, please feel free. I want to thank each of you for being here with us today. Your being here today is part of the world that we are creating together. And I want to remind you that every small thing you do today makes a difference in your life and in the life of those around you. I want to thank the universe, God, the source of all life and love, for another day on this amazing journey. And I want to thank everyone who's made this service possible. For Stephen and our bodacious board of broad-minded buoyancy. I had to dig deep for that. Do you know there's a place on the Google, on the internet, if you want to find positive words that begin with B, you can just look that up. Our bodacious board of broad-minded buoyancy, who is not put down by COVID, who is having a potluck supper here next Sunday. Yay! Barbie, Rich, Peggy, Laura, David, and Sally. For Pam, our multitasking magician of administrative magic. For Ron and Jeff and Mira and Chuck, the C, stand up, the C. Woo! Our hardworking heroes and heroines of heavenly harmony. They have H's too, they're not just B's. For Peggy, our worship leader today. For Ernie Kessel, our Zoom hostess with the mostest. For Rich and Danny, our Zoom meisters. For our amazing prayer chaplains who call each member every month. Sharon, Janet, Marianne, Laura, Alexa, Sally, and Beth. Wow. For Sally Snyder, our kids person. Is Sally here today? She's not here? Okay, it's Mother's Day. All right, kids, we'll figure out what we're going to do.
I'll go back with them.
Peggy's going to go back with them.
Snack and then come out and hear the music.
Oh, excellent idea. Okay. And our daily word reader, who is Marianne Getman. David Getman. One of the Getmans. David or oh, see, it was covered up. The David or Marianne was covered up. All right, David, thank you for that. And for our junior bell ringers today, Nora and Rupert, come on up and let me give you a hug. Thank you for ringing our bell today. It's good to have people in your life who know how to ring your bell. Nora, thank you so much. Rupert, let's hear it for Nora and Rupert. Just like old times. Wow. And I want to remind you that God is our source and the pen is in your hand. And a new day is dawning for us all. So let us enter into a more extended period of prayer. And let's notice the sounds in the room in this present moment. You might notice the sounds of the building creaking. People adjusting, getting more comfortable. The sounds of life all around us. You might notice the experience of sitting, the way the floor is holding us up perfectly right now. The points of contact between our body, the floor, the bench, the pew, the seat. You might notice the experience of your skin, the experience of your skin, the sense of temperature, cold or hot, the feeling of air on the hairs of your skin. And you might notice the experience of breathing. The bringing in of the breath, the releasing, the taking in and the letting go. All of life is a circle. And in this circle, the energy circulates. Our relationships circulate through our lives. The giving and the taking. The receiving and the letting go. Jesus said, "Seek ye the kingdom. The kingdom is within." And so we bring our attention to this curious teaching, this spaciousness within. This kingdom within is a place of abundance and sufficiency, where we come to know ourselves to be enough just as we are. And we find our abundance in meeting the call of the world, asking us to be just who we are, knowing ourselves to be perfect as we are. The world created us to be here just as we are. We are part of the divine unfolding, the divine order, just as we are. This is a place of healing and a place of acceptance. A place where we pray for cure and we surrender to what is. This space within is a place of relationship. Where we remember those who love us and loved us. The people who taught us how to love by first loving us. A place of relationship, love, caring, nurturing. And a place of repair, amends, forgiveness, repentance, and reconciliation. and this is a place of guidance, where we remember that the signs are all around us as well as within us. And as we pay attention to our hearts, we find the still small voice guiding us to who and what we are meant to be. And it's from this place that we reach out to anyone, anywhere, in any need or trouble. Those living in fear, those who are running for their lives, those who are struggling to take the next breath, those who are separated from ones they love. Those struggling with addiction, recovery, those dragged by the burdens of the past or anxious for the future. We are holding you in our mind's eye right now. We see you. We see you surrounded by love and by light. We know that God's presence is spread out equally throughout the world, and that the consciousness of God's presence is possible to every person, in every situation, with no exceptions. And for this, we are very grateful. I think it's on, David.
There we go. The daily word for today is Mother's Blessing. I bless all mothers everywhere. The word mother brings to mind love, gentleness, nurturance, and compassion. Even if I did not experience these qualities from the woman who gave me life, I give thanks for them in everyone who has inspired me and touched my life. To my mother and everyone who has blessed me with a mother's care, I send you love. I say a prayer of thanks for your presence in my life, for the sacrifices you made to give me the opportunity to grow and learn. You taught me the power of love and gentleness and strength found in giving. You taught me, above all, to be true to myself. You are a leader who has taught me to lead by example. I send you thoughts of infinite love and peace as I join with others in gratitude and joy today. And from Proverbs chapter 31, verse 26. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue.
I think Ron's about to introduce. No. Stay up here so you can do the introduction, but I just want to say, you guys can come up and get ready. I heard this song last night and I thought this was a perfect song for Mother's Day. Some of you may know I had a very contrarian experience with my mother. She would ask me to smile and I would scowl. She would ask me to dress up and I would dress down. If she said it was blue, I said it was red. And we were just at each other's knocking heads a lot. But when I thought back on when I was very young, I remember how my mother would look at me and smile, and I would smile back. And there wasn't a contrary cell in my body. And I was just thinking about the importance of those early smiles between mothers and babies. And so today, in honor of my mother, I dressed up. I'm wearing the nicest shoes I have. They're black suede shoes with purple, what are those things, shoelaces, just in honor of my mother to say thank you. I do know how to dress up, and I'm willing to dress up for you today. But when I heard this song, I just had this sense of the interplay of vision between a mother and a baby, and I hope we picked the right song. It sounds like we did. So Ron, do you want to introduce? No, you've please. There's more to say. And some folks might not know that you have a connection to this.
Yes, this is probably my favorite group, and I don't know. Some of you may not know that. I think all of you do, but they may not know that Mira is my daughter, or for years, people would come on Mountain Stage and they would say, "Oh, Mira's your daughter." Now they come on Mountain Stage and say, "Oh, you're Mira's dad." So the torch has been passed, and you'll see why. This is welcome to See the Sea.
If the world stopped, I think I would keep spinning. Let it bring me right down to my knees. Chalk it all up to this thing we call living, till I feel that I can hardly breathe. Tell me I'm wrong, but I've seen the way the light sometimes leans into you. dogs, have they ever seen how the light sometimes leans into you? So if you catch me looking in your direction, know that you are the object of my affection. Oh, if the world stopped, I think I would keep spinning, let it bring me right down to my knees. Chalk it all up to this thing we call living, till I feel that I can hardly breathe. Thank you. Well, it is so good to be back here. I keep saying it feels like there's been sort of a time vortex in the last couple of years. And this is just one of our favorite places in the whole world, and we're just so happy to be able to be back. So this next song we're gonna play is a song that we thought would be appropriate because it was inspired by something that my mother sent us.
Yeah, we had a beautiful experience, during the sort of quarantine time. Mira's mom came up to where we live up in upstate New York and spent a bunch of time with us, and it was just a beautiful time for both of us. Our relationship really just grew and deepened so much in that time. I thought I knew her. It's one of those things I thought I knew her before, and then after that time, it's like, wow, just really bonded. And we were, Mira and I, one night were at our studio just working on a few songs, and we got a text from Barbara, Mira's mom, that said, I recorded The Rain for you. And I just was it was just really beautiful. And it was a recording of a thunderstorm. And I just thought, let's just stop what we're doing right now and write that song, whatever it is. And I realized, too, that the song really, to me, is about sort of paying attention to the moment, which, whenever we're in this space, I feel is a pretty powerful reminder to do that. So this is, I recorded The Rain for you. I recorded the rain for you. I wrote it down like a name for you. For when the sun won't shine the same for you. Ooh. Said you've been walking over broken bones. Said they're looking more like stepping stones. You said sometimes the rain feels just like home. Ain't it heavy coming down, filling up and spilling out? Ain't the world less empty now? I'm in love with the sound. I'm in love with the sound. And spring is dogwood, magnolia, and winter's only getting older. Can't let the cold wind blow us over. 'Cause when that sun cracks a hole in the sky, we'll watch the night take off its disguise. To our hellos, no more goodbyes. Ain't it heavy coming down, filling up and spilling out? Ain't the world less empty now? I'm in love with the sound. I'm in love with the sound.
Well, thank you so much, the C, Nora and Chuck. Thank you, fantastic. Nora and Chuck, Mira and Chuck. I've got Nora on my mind. Nora, Rupert, and the rest of the kids, if you'd be willing to come up, I'd love to hear a little bit from you.
Sky, you can make up any name that you would like.
Yeah.
Sky,
Yes,
move the music stand so I can see the kids.
I will. Let's sit up here at our usual spot. Sorry, Ron. All right, it's good to see everybody. I'm going to be on this side, I guess. Well, oh, I'm already dinged by mistake. Let's get everybody's name. All right. Come on, Rupert, Nora, come around a little bit more.
Do I do it now?
Yep.
Evelyn, Vivian, Jackson,
Rupert.
Nora.
Fantastic. And let's get your thoughts. Why do you think it might be good to celebrate Mother's Day? What are your thoughts on why we remember mothers on Mother's Day? Let's get at least 2 ideas. Evelyn.
Because they put up with us?
Because they put up with us? Yeah, I'll tell you, my mom put up a lot. That's true. Rupert, any ideas? I know I can count on you.
Mothers are one of the most important figures in our lives, and I feel like that's worthy of a day to celebrate them.
Fantastic. Okay. Nora, anything to add? Okay. So let's go around and let's just practice, gratitude, practicing gratitude. Gratitude's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So that's why we spend so much time practicing things that we're grateful for. Let's think of one thing we're grateful for our mothers. So off of the song, I felt like I was the object of my mother's affection. And there were lots of years I didn't enjoy that experience. But when I think back on it, it really was lovely. When she would look at me, she would smile and she would just make me laugh. And I couldn't help but smile back. And my mother had a great sense of humor, and I really loved that about her. All right, who would like to go next? One thing you're grateful for your mother. Vivian, do you have an idea? Something you're happy about or something you're grateful for your mother? You can say thank you for this or for that. You think about it. Anyone care to offer up a gratitude for their mother? Yes, Evelyn, thank you.
Helping me change.
Helping you change, like change your clothes?
No,
or
like-
No, sorry. Change how?
Mentally.
Yeah, in what way? How is she helping you change mentally?
And just, I don't know.
Okay, well, good enough. That was a good enough answer. Let's hear it for Evelyn's answer, helping her mother help to change. Anyone else? Yes, Vivian, thank you. Do you want to whisper it to Evelyn and then Evelyn can tell us? Okay, good.
What? I didn't hear you. She's thankful for that she loves her mom.
Yes, that her mom is. Yeah, okay. So so Vivian's thankful that her mom is lovable and that she loves her mom. Jackson, is that a hand up or is that a yawn? That was a stretch. Okay. Anyone else? No problem. All right. Rupert, Nora, one word. You want to offer up one word? Thank you, Nora.
She gives me food.
She gives you food. Yeah, well, where would we be without food, right? Excellent. And we love food. All right. So all of these things that we've said and the things that we carry in the privacy of our hearts, let's just think about those things for a second. Things you're grateful for. And let's take a nice deep breath. And let's listen to the sound of the bell. Can you still hear it? We do. Mother, Father, God, we give thanks for these kids and for the kid in each and every one of us. Amen. All right, let's hear it for our kids. Let's hear it for our parents. Let's hear it for Peggy, who's going to go back with the kids. Do you guys want to go back?
When you were talking, I could still hear it.
Oh, you could still hear it? Yeah, incredible. All right. Snack time. I'm going to put these roses up here because I don't want any of them to be here by the end of the day. So please give yourself a rose as a way to practice good nurturing. And feel free to give a rose to someone else today. All right. Well, Mother's Day. The three sons left home, grew up, got launched, went out on their own and prospered. They moved off to different states and did very well. And they got together on a phone call and they discussed what gifts they were going to give to their elderly mother. The first son said, well, I'm going to buy a big house for Mom. I've done very well. I'm very grateful for her. And so he announced his plans to buy a big house. The second son said, well, I'm going to get a Mercedes-Benz car for her and also a driver so that she can go in and out and do whatever she wants. And the third son smiled and he said, I've got you both beat. I know how much Mom enjoys the Bible, and I know that she can't see very well. So I'm going to send her a brown parrot that can recite the entire Bible. It took 20 monks in a monastery 12 years to teach this parrot. And I had to pledge to contribute $100,000 a year for 10 years, but it was worth it. Mom just has to name the chapter and the verse, and the parrot will recite it. A couple weeks after Mother's Day, the mother sent out letters of thanks to her sons. She wrote the first son, thank you so much for the house. It's huge. I live in only one room, but I have to clean the whole house. To her second son, she wrote, I'm actually too old to travel. I stay home all the time, so I'll never use the Mercedes. And by the way, the driver is so incredibly rude. To her third son, she wrote, "Dearest Melvin, you were the only son to have the good sense to know what your mother likes. The chicken was delicious." So put your hand on your heart and repeat after me, please. This is my heart. Through it, I am connected. To my neighbor, to my source, and to myself.
To my neighbor, to my source, to myself.
I am learning to trust it in all things.
I am learning to trust it in all things.
And I am grateful.
And I agree.
Well, Mother's Day here at Unity, we usually share a couple stories about our mothers, so I'm going to give you a minute or two to think about that. We've got time for 2 or 3 stories for anyone that would care to come up and share something here. And also on Zoom, we'll have a chance to share those stories after the service. I do want to share a story of an amazing mother from the Old Testament, the book of Genesis, which I think is one of the most amazing books in all of human literature. Many folks think of Abraham as the father of the Jewish faith, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham. Abraham the first, he's the godfather of the whole clan. And Abraham is remembered for a number of things. Some of them are not so complimentary, but one of the things he's seen as the obedient servant of faith. You may know this story that God gave Sarah, his wife, and Abraham a son. When they were in their later years, they're like 120, and yeah, who would have thought? But there they are. Sarah's pregnant. They have this boy, and his name was Isaac. And God comes to Abraham and says, "Abraham, I want you to take your son up to the top of the mountain, and I want you to sacrifice him to me." Human sacrifice, right? At that time, you know, that I don't know what was going on with that, but I don't know what's going on with God, that God would request this. And some of us grew up in churches that said, well, if God asked you to do something, your job isn't to question it, your job is just to go do it. And so Abraham, being a non-questioner at that point, it's interesting because he questions a bunch of other stuff earlier on in the story, and even haggles with God at different points, but for some reason doesn't haggle with God about the idea of murdering his son Isaac. I don't know what was going on between Abraham and Isaac the day before, but at any, I mean, parents, we can all, that urge, right, to, yeah. So just in your thoughts, not in real life, but there's that urge. So Abraham takes Isaac up, he constructs an altar, he gets food he gets wood together, so he gets the knife out. Isaac, being an obedient son, says, "Okay, Dad, if that's what you want me to do, I'll get up on this thing. And by the way, what's that knife in your hand?" And just as he's about to make the fatal blow, a ram appears, and the voice, I guess, tells Abraham, "Just kidding, kill the ram instead and make that the sacrifice to me." Now, this is a interesting and bizarre and disturbing story if you think about what's like actually happening. But one of the things we notice about this story is who's missing. Who's missing from the story? Sarah, right. Sarah's missing from the story. Now, this was not lost on the rabbis of old. They noticed that this is, in a lot of the Abraham and Sarah stories, Sarah is a full party to it, but Abraham does not tell Sarah about his plans. What's your thought about why Abraham doesn't tell Sarah what he's planning to do with Isaac? Laura, you look like you have a thought.
I'm sure Sarah would not react favorably.
She would have hit him upside the head with a fry pan.
Yeah, take the baby and run.
Right, what the heck are you thinking? That could not possibly be God's voice. So Abraham, for some reason, knows apparently that it wouldn't be good to bring Sarah in on this. And I sort of love this part of the story, that it's like he knew that there was something off about this. Now, the rabbis do what's called the midrash. The midrash is when the rabbis comment on the story that they've been given in the Bible. They have some thoughts about this. They actually have a sense that Sarah knew something was up, that Abraham was acting kind of strange that morning. And so what does she do? She follows him. This is the story that the rabbis came up with about why Sarah is missing from the story. And their idea is that she has a sense that Abraham is off that day. And so she follows him up the mountain. And guess who provides the ram? Sarah provides the ram. You know these stories that the guy is kind of out to lunch, but the woman's in the back taking care of everything. So Sarah apparently brings the ram with her, rustles the bushes so that Abraham sees the ram. She hides herself, and Sarah saves the day. There's another sort of sad part to this story, because when Abraham and Isaac come down from the mountain, the next thing that happens in the story is that Sarah dies. And the rabbis wondered about this. They wondered if she died either of fright or of a broken heart, that her husband would actually consider doing this. So I want to celebrate the quiet strength of our mothers, including the quiet strength of Sarah. I love that the rabbis thought to fill in a story about her, since the Bible is silent about where she is in the story of Abraham and Isaac. So, would anyone care to share a story of strength or quiet strength or whatever it would be about your mother as a way to practice the gratitude for mothers at this time? And we always start off silent, and that's why I take a breath and just smile. I figured you would. Thank you. Thank you. Well, it was on.
Rich and I are communicating. Tell me to mute everything, so I did. So that's why this was not working. So now I have to unmute it. Check. So I lost my mom last January, and she was almost 93, and she had me when she was 18. So I had her for a long time. for this, I'm very grateful. I tell everybody I won the mom lottery, and she was amazing and very gentle and one of the kindest person I think I've ever met. However, she did have a sternness and a tough love thing that came out every once in a while. And it always surprised me, just when I thought I could go a little too far, you know, and then this would come out. But this one particular time, she had purchased a guitar for me and lessons for the summer. And I got halfway through the summer. She came to pick me up to go to my lesson, and I said, I was playing basketball in this summer basketball league. I said, "No, Mom, I think I'm going to quit guitar because it's getting in the way of my summer basketball." In my basketball career, which I could obviously be in the NBA if this hadn't happened. So I said, "I think I'm just going to quit." And she said, "Well, actually, I paid for the guitar and I paid for the lessons, so you will finish the summer. And then if you want to quit, that'll be your decision." And so about 2 weeks later, I met a kid down the block who was a guitar player, and all of a sudden I was playing about 8 hours a day. And I just think back about this, that one day, that one little decision changed the trajectory of my entire life. And because music is, basically what I do now. So, Mom, thank you.
We've got time for 2 more stories. Come on up, Kim.
I can stand up, right? Hi. I'm an only child, and my dad died when I was 8. So kind of had a rough time in a lot of ways. But my mom loved me, and I know she did. She was wonderful to me. And I'm so blessed that she was in my life for as long as she was. She died when she was 90. She'd had a stroke. And I don't think Sharon knew her, because we used to go to Unity when we were up over here. Anyway, when we were over there. And she used to come, and she wore these little hats. And then when she died, and I talked to the guy that was doing the guy from the funeral home, and I said, no, I wanted a hat on her. He says, well, we could put it, and I said, no, it needs to be on her head. And they did get it on her head, and I was so grateful, and I am so blessed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kim. I had a very stylish mom as well. So, yeah, one more person, please. This is where I smile and take a breath. Yes, please, Tina. Thank you so much.
This morning when I was, so cute. This morning when I was driving to church.
Hold the microphone up. Oh, there you go.
This morning when I was driving to church, I was asking God to take away my bitterness and resentment. And I attended a different service before this. And when I was driving over here, I got the idea, it just sort of came to me when I was sitting, to use these cards. And the yellow one that I have says, I'm grateful to my husband for, because there's a lot of things I'm not grateful for. So these are basic,
good practice, yeah.
yeah, gratitude cards. And there's a lot of things I'm not grateful to my parents for. But I thought I would, tell you what I was grateful for. I'm a late child. My brother and sister are 10 and 13 years older than me, and I didn't have as long with my parents as they did. And, when my brother and sister and I were sitting in the driveway last summer, and they were telling stories about my mom, and, from when they were little and going to school, and I was like, that's not the mother I had. I had a different mom. She wasn't that mom anymore. But I will tell you what I was grateful for was, and that's not her calling because she passed away. They did give me a lot of financial support. They let me drive the car. Mom never had a car. She let me drive her car she got when she was older. They paid for grad school. They left me a house to live in. They left me money to fix it because there was some things wrong with it. But they left me a house. They left me money. They set me up. And now they left a house to Jimmy and they left a house to Jeannie. So, it's not like just me. It was all the same. It was all equal. I told them that. But when I was little, I would be so thrilled when I would come home from school and there would be like a new Nancy Drew book on my bed. That was like the best thing ever, or a new Trixie Belden book. And so that's how they showed their love to me. They gave me money, they gave me things, and neither one of them had a very good upbringing. And so I haven't put that on there yet. So I'm very grateful that they overcame so many bad things from them growing up, and that they were better to me than what they got. And that was really important. And she used to sew me clothes. She would sew clothes for me. And on Easter, we would have little matching dresses. I remember that. And my dad had this little motorcycle. It was a Trail 90, if you back in the 70s, early 70s. And he would take me on motorcycle rides on Sunday afternoon. And looking back, I'm like, maybe Mom made him. Get her out of my hair for a while. But that was really nice. And those were just some of the things. I had swimming lessons, and the last thing I had written, I'm not done, of course, but the last thing I wrote was, Dad working for money and spending it on the family and letting Mom manage the money. That was huge, because I know some of my friends, the husband and the dad, they spend it all on themselves. They buy themselves boats or guns or motorcycles and whatever. But both of my husband and my parents spend their money on the family. So that's something I'm really grateful for. That's it.
Thank you so much, Tina. It's so important to be reminded of what's real, and that we have complicated relationships sometimes, and such an important practice to find the good even when there's been difficulty, and that was such a great example of that. Anyone else having a burning desire to share a story? All right, we will continue then. Who is leading our final Sharon? So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here today, and I wish everyone a wonderful Mother's Day.
The ushers, please come forward. Please join me in our offering blessing. Divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, I trust God, and I am grateful. to share a thought from a little book that my son gave me called Mom, from a Thankful Heart. At the end of your life, you'll never regret not having passed one more test, nor winning one more verdict, nor closing one more deal. You will regret time not spent with a husband, a friend, a child, or a parent. And that's a message from Barbara Bush. So let us bless our offering together. Divine love moving in and through all of us now blesses and multiplies all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. Each gift is blessed, and we see it returning tenfold to the giver. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Let us form a circle for our peace song.
And we had some birthdays last week that didn't get in.
Uh-oh.
And some anniversaries. Let's see. What were the birthdays and anniversaries we missed last week, and also the ones this week?
I don't know.
Any birthdays or anniversaries this week or last week? Yes,
Danny?
CJ's birthday is this week.
CJ's birthday is this week. CJ and Kent, they're with us on Zoom from California.
Tina?
Okay, we got Tina here first. Your daughter's birthday and your daughter's birthday. Any anniversaries? All right.
Graduations?